Well, I've said that web services is going to let some neat new things happen. And this is true for the individual worker and for the company as well. We've got a great example of that that can really give people a sense of it. And so I'd like to ask Neil Charney and Steve VanRoekel to give us a look at web services made personal.
Hello? Is this the wake-up call? Could you just push it back another hour? No, this isn't Bill Gates. Oh, this is Bill Gates? Bill? Gates? Mr. Gates. Mr. Bill. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm working on the white paper that we talked about that I would have ready and printed out for the booth right after your keynote tomorrow morning. What do you mean the keynote's not tomorrow morning? Keynote's tonight? Who has a keynote at night? Oh, you do. That's right. And it's now. The keynote is now? You're doing the keynote now. How's it going? Right, really not relevant at this point. No problem. Don't worry. I'll have that white paper done for you and delivered as quickly as possible. Yeah, and good luck with the okay. Don't you hate when that happens to you? You're in bed, you're sleeping, and Bill Gates calls you and asks you to print out 10,000 copies of a white paper. I mean, how many times has that happened to you? Anyone out there? Couple in the back? Just scratching? No? Okay, maybe it wasn't 10,000 papers. And all right, maybe you weren't sleeping in the hotel room, okay? Maybe it wasn't Bill Gates who called you. But chances are you've been in a situation where you needed to print something out and you didn't have a printer. Now, what do you do in a situation like that? You find out there's no business center in the hotel, so you figure out you have to bring your computer and you can go on the internet and try and find some place, or you can drive around town looking for a place to print out, wait for the printout to happen, and then cart that printout out to the meeting that you were going to go to. That happens often, and there needs to be a better way. There must be a better way. Well, with Microsoft.NET and Kinkos, things are about to get a lot easier. Tonight, we're announcing a new web service from Kinkos called File Print Kinkos. And what this will enable is you to print from the client to the copy center as easily as if you had a printer attached to your desktop. We're going to show you a prototype tonight that Kinkos built of the solution that will be available mid-next year for you to work with. So let's take a look. And you can see here's that paper that Bill just gently reminded me that I needed to have printed out for apparently tonight. Now, normally I would just go File, Print, Printer, because the printer would be here or it would be my network printer. But in this case, I don't have a printer attached. What I do have is File Print Kinkos, the Kinkos add-in and web service that is going to enable me to print directly to a Kinkos of my choice. So when I select Kinkos, I'm going to get a printer dialog box that should look pretty familiar, but there's something slightly different about it you might notice. Up here, location. Well, what it's asking is, where do you want the printouts to go? And where would you like them delivered? In this case, we're going to want it at the MGM Grand, which is where Bill is speaking, and I can see where Bill is here at the MGM Grand. Actually, if I zoom in, and what I'm using here is a MapPoint.NET web service, which is integrated directly into the solution. I can zoom in, and sure enough, it looks like there's a Kinkos really near where Bill is giving his keynote. In fact, MapPoint.NET also gives me a distance from where the location is, and in this case, it says there's a Kinkos 20 feet away. Wow. Those guys are so convenient. I think I'll select that one. All right, so I've selected that local Kinkos. It's going to be near enough to Bill. And now we just have to put in the number of copies we want, and 10,000. That's fun to do. Oh, I better put stapling. Bill does not like to sit and staple white papers at night. That's not going to go over well at all. So we want it stapled, we want it collated, and we're ready to go. And in this case, we want to be able to have this delivered right to Bill. So I'm just going to bring in a note here to deliver to Bill Gates, center stage. And I think they should probably send their best person because that's a pretty high-quality delivery. Now, I'm going to submit this print job to Kinkos. And I just press submit. And right now, the file is being prepped and sent over the internet. And I'm going to get an alert from Kinkos that lets me know that that file was received. And you can see the alert is brought to me down in the lower side here and tells me that the digital decade has been received. I'm starting to feel immensely confident that I may still have my job for the digital decade now that it's been handed to Kinkos. So if you don't mind, I think I may just go and do a little bit more work in the back.
Very good. Well, Neil sent his print job over to Kinkos. Let me take a few moments to explain how web services will bring a new level of flexibility and functionality to this solution, FilePrint Kinkos. Now, Kinkos has always recognized that technology is a core asset to business and very, very important, especially in the area of technology enabling customer value through simplicity. Now, we at Microsoft are very proud to be partnering with Kinkos on this solution and bringing our knowledge and our work in the area of XML web services to this solution and to a Kinkos near you. Now, to be useful, solutions like the one Neil showed have to be very simple and elegant to use. But in the past, simple and elegant applications often meant that the application was very complex behind the scenes. Complex in a way that it was very hard to make changes, it cost a lot of money to make changes, and developer time was dedicated to not only building the application, but maintaining that over a lifespan if any new things came up or your business changed. The ideal is really taking a core asset, in this case, printing, and extending that as a web service. Now, as Kinkos utilizes the web service, they'll get some inherent benefits that come along with using web services, namely interoperability. Interoperability with other web services, and in this case, Neil talked about mappoint.net, the ability to do location-based services, and .NET Alert, so Neil gets a notification when his print job has been received or printed, completed, and ready for delivery. So integration at that level, plus integration with other people, other corporations utilizing web services. Take, for example, a corporation may want to outsource some of their printing reports, printing marketing collateral, etc. They could simply use their web service-enabled software and connect to the Kinkos web service and start doing business in that way. Kinkos also has the benefit of reusing the service. So in the future, if changes are made or business changes or as Kinkos grows, they need to modify this, XML web services give you a way to very easily do that. Now that's real flexibility, and that's what comes along with Microsoft.NET and XML web services. Well, it looks like I can see on my monitor over here that Neil's print job is done and his career has been saved for another day, all through the power of web services. Neil did indicate that he needed a top person to help deliver this job, so please let me introduce Kinkos President and CEO, Gary Kuzin.
Bill, I'd like to show you the Digital Decade white paper that Kinkos printed for you this afternoon. And I'd like to let you know that we've already delivered it complete to your booth over at the Convention Center. On behalf of all of the team members of Kinkos around the world, I want to tell you how proud we are of this Kinkos-Microsoft partnership and all the opportunity that it enables. You probably know this, but the amount of work that we receive digitally at Kinkos has over doubled each of the last 3 years. And we're sure this trend will continue, so this new concept is really hitting our sweet spot at Kinkos. So we're very excited about this in the future. In fact, we think about it in terms of enabling Kinkos to extend the longest printer cable in the world from Kinkos to each and every one of our customers. So we're just delighted to be a partner with you.
Well, that's exciting, and I think it's a fantastic example of what web services can do. We're really pleased to be in partnership, and I know a lot of people are going to get the benefits of the work we're doing together. Thanks,
you.
Gary.
You bet. Bye-bye.